Hey guys, in this month's top 5, I'm going to be talking about my 5 favorite gay characters. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm going to be talking about gay characters. You guys, a little bit of a disclaimer here because this list is all men. I'm going to put that out there. This whole list is all men. When I was kind of coming up with this list, male characters were the first characters that came to mind. And I started thinking, you know what? That's a bit of a problem. And I don't know if it's a problem with me and how I read, that maybe I need to branch out and find other types of books, or if it's the problem of the literary community. Because yeah, like I said, I immediately just found 5 male characters who are gay. Not a single woman was on this list, not a transgender person, not a bisexual person, you know the whole LGBT, all those things. I couldn't find any other characters that, no characters were coming to mind. All I could come up with was male gay characters. And so yeah, that's why I'm kind of putting this disclaimer up here, kind of being open and honest about that. Like I said, I don't know if it's my fault because I need to try to branch out there and look for other books that, feature like lesbian characters or transgender characters or something. Or is it the fault of the literary community as a whole that they're not more out there and prominent, you know what I mean? So yeah. Makes sense? That just kind of saying that. I don't want no one in the comments yelling at me like, oh, you didn't have any women on this list. I've explained it, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So yeah, these are 5 characters that I in particular I enjoy. They are gay characters. Fantastic storylines for all these characters. First up, I have the character of Loki from this graphic novel series put out by Marvel Comics, and this is from Loki, Agent of Asgard. And Loki in this particular graphic novel series, he's younger, he's more hip and cool, and what the writers, a big thing the writers explained when they were developing this particular trilogy of comics is that they really wanted to explore Loki not just simply as the god of mischief, but explore just other aspects of him, that being his sexual fluidity, his gender fluidity, because yeah, Loki in these comics, he's just all over the place. He likes flirting with guys, he likes flirting with girls, he'll sit and look like the male version of Loki, but there's many times he'll sit and look like a female version of himself. So that's what I enjoyed about these 3 comics. It was just really fun to kind of see Loki, mess around and do things and play around, and yeah, he might flirt with a girl one page, flirt with a guy the other page, look like a man or a woman. So yeah, he's just really fun and zany in these comics, and I really enjoyed that. At number 4, I have Niko from the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan, and I just realized the character of Niko, I don't think he's in this first book actually. I think he don't actually make an appearance until like book 2. Oh well. Anyway, the character of Niko, in Rick Riordan's series, if you don't know anything about these series, they are middle grade fiction, kind of retellings of Greek/Roman mythology, and yeah, it follows all these kids and teenagers who are, their parent, whether their mom or their dad, one of their parents is a Greek or Roman god. So you have the character of Niko, who he was actually in the very first Rick Riordan series, the Percy Jackson series, but then he also comes back in a big way here in the Heroes of Olympus. But yeah, Niko, he is the son of the Greek god Hades, lord of the dead and the underworld. And yeah, with that comes a lot of stuff to deal with. Yeah, no, your dad is the god of the dead in the underworld. It's not a really good feeling. And yeah, there's kind of a shame almost associated with that, and people kind of being scared of Niko, you know, like, oh, is he going to go all dark side on us and this and that. And besides him being the son of Hades, we find out later in the Heroes of Olympus series, I hope this is not a spoiler, I hope it's not a spoiler if you haven't read the series, but we find out, like, in the final book of this series that Niko is actually gay, and he's actually had a bit of a crush on Percy Jackson, and it's kind of mind-blowing that Niko, this entire time, you've read all these books with Niko, and you're just now finding out this information, and he's been holding this deep dark secret inside all along, and he's been kind of embarrassed and ashamed, and it's this nice parallel, you know, it's kind of this nice parallel that he feels that type of shame towards his sexuality, but it's, like I said, there's also a shame that he's the son of Hades, you know, so there's this weird parallel there between his sexuality and his parentage. And I love how Rick Riordan does that and ties those threads together. And yet, Niko is seriously the best. I love him. Rick Riordan needs to write a whole series focused on Niko. I would be so happy. Next up at number 3, Magnus Bane from the Shadowhunter universe by Cassandra Clare. You guys probably predicted Magnus was going to show up in this video at some point. Magnus Bane, he is a character, he has lived for centuries. How long, we're never really given an exact date how old Magnus is, but he's hundreds of years old. He's a warlock. One of his distinguishable features is that he has cat eyes, and yeah, he does all sorts of fancy and cool magic. He helps out the Shadowhunters when they're in need. So yeah, what you need to know about the Shadowhunters in general, if you don't know what this series is about, it's about all these young people who have like angelic blood in their veins, or you know, they're kind of part of like that sort of thing, and yeah, they fight werewolves and vampires and demons, all sorts of things. So yeah, that's where Magnus kind of comes in. He helps out this group of young Shadowhunters, you know, kind of supplying magic and portals when they need to travel around. And yeah, Magnus as a character, he is just so cool. You guys, he is so cool and badass. Yeah, he's very flamboyant and colorful, and yeah, he loves just dressing how he pleases. You know, he likes to wear glitter and sparkles, and yeah, the eyeliner, and he does crazy things with his hair, and he just really digs into that side of himself. You know, he has no shame about it. It's just who he is, and yeah, everyone pretty much accepts that, you know, except for, you know, some of the more bigoted characters, especially the adults. The adults in this series tend to be very bigoted towards him, but yeah, the group of younger characters tend to connect with him more. And yeah, Magnus and his relationship with Alec, some of the best moments, some of the best highlights. So yeah, I almost kind of recommend these books just for Magnus alone, to be quite honest. Magnus, whenever he is in these books, he steals any given moment. And he's not just in the first series, The Mortal Instruments, he's also in the prequel series, he's also in the prequel series, The Infernal Devices, and then he's in the sequel series, The Dark Artifices, and yeah, him and Alec actually have their own spin-off series that Cassandra Clare has just recently started, and yeah, Magnus is seriously one of the most popular characters in this entire series. At number 2, Lord John Grey from the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. And I just realized I kind of have the wrong book here. Lord John Grey doesn't pop up in this first book. I think he pops up originally in the third book, right? I think he pops up in the third book first, if I'm not mistaken. Lord John Grey, you guys. Whew, my goodness, this man is pretty hot and sexy. He's part of the British Army and whatnot. I feel like I'm kind of jumping ahead here. Let's start over a little bit. First of all, what you need to know about Outlander is that Outlander follows a woman named Claire. She lives in the 1940s, but she walks through some magical stones, and these stones transport her back to like the 1700s. And it's here that Claire meets this Scotsman named Jamie Fraser. And yeah, that's essentially what this first book is. It's about Claire and Jamie, their relationship, Claire trying to figure out how the hell she even time traveled and how she'll ever go back. And yeah, so you kind of go through the first 2 books, and something happens at the end of the second book, and Jamie is captured, he's imprisoned, and when we get to the third book, a large chunk of Jamie's story, when he's in prison, he spends a lot of time with the character of Lord John Grey. Lord John Grey has kind of been sent to this prison, essentially kind of as the warden, I think, am I using the correct terminology? I'm trying to think if I'm using the correct terminology here, but yeah, Lord John Grey is kind of sent to kind of be in charge of this prison. He strikes up this very unlikely friendship with Jamie Fraser. Yeah, Lord John Grey, there's just something that he's attracted to, and you eventually find out that Lord John Grey, he is gay. He does have a sexual attraction to Jamie Fraser. And the thing is, what you also need to know about Jamie is that Jamie has had some rough experiences. He himself has been raped by a gay man. So, of course, here he is in the presence of another gay man. It doesn't kind of go well initially, you know. But they do, over the course of Jamie's prison stay, Jamie and Lord John Grey, they develop this really great bond and friendship, but it's very one-sided, because Jamie, he wants to reunite with his wife Claire, and yet Lord John Grey, he can never fully have Jamie to his satisfaction, obviously. And plus, like I said, this is historical fiction. It takes place in the 1700s. Being gay in the 1700s was a no-no. It wasn't a good thing at all. So there's that part of Lord John Grey's story that he has to really hide himself and censor himself. And he's such a very fascinating, complex character. Himself as a character, and his relationship with Jamie, and then yet even with his relationship with Claire in later books is very fascinating, because you know, here's Claire and Lord John Grey, and they both love the same man, but obviously only one of them can have him. So, yeah, he, kind of like Magnus Bane, Lord John Grey, whenever he's on any given page, he steals any given scene. And like I said, Lord John Grey, he is super attractive, you guys. He is super hot. The show, if you guys watch the TV series on Starz, oh my goodness, they cast the perfect man for Lord John Grey. Whew. And at number 1, you guys, I have the character of Jesus from Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead series. Jesus, you guys. The character Jesus, not the Lord Jesus. If you don't know anything about Robert Kirkman's Walking Dead series, takes place in our world, kind of a bit of a dystopian in a sense. We've had a zombie outbreak, half the world is dead, everyone's turned into freaking zombies, and it's about people coming together and surviving and forming groups and whatnot. And yeah, one of the characters that we're introduced to, kind of, when does he pop up? I think Jesus pops up, maybe because I have these large compendiums. I think he kind of pops up in compendium number 2. That's when he becomes a really big character. But Jesus's role in these comics is that he is someone, because he's part of a community, and his role is to go out there and find other survivors, kind of see if they are right to join his community, if they're good, if they're bad. You can't just have anybody come right on into your community. You gotta trust them, and they gotta trust you. So yeah, that's kind of Jesus's role, and because he does that, he is a bit of an outsider. He is a bit of a loner, because he does things by himself. And yeah, one of his other characteristics that we find out over the course of these comics is that he is gay himself, and he doesn't have no love, unfortunately. I don't think, does he have any, I'm trying to remember these comics, because I don't think he ever really has a good relationship. He is, like I said, he is a bit of a loner. I think by the time you get to Compendium 3, he is in some sort of relationship, but it's not focused on that much. But yeah, what I love about these comics is, he is a gay character, but it's kind of just brought up, and, you know, every now and then he might be flirting with another guy or kiss another guy, maybe every now and then, but it's not a big deal at all. You know, it's never a big deal. No one is ever, you know, cruel or hateful to him. And Jesus, he is such a freaking badass. Yeah, guys, I love that. I love how Robert Kirkman wrote this character, because he doesn't come off like stereotypically gay. You know, that's a turnoff for me. When I'm reading a book and there are gay characters, it's a turnoff to me if someone is stereotypically gay. It's not really fair, you know? It kind of makes the whole community look bad. And yeah, Jesus is such a badass. He's one of the strongest, most toughest fighters. And he's practically a ninja, okay? Jesus is practically a ninja. Just his very unique fighting style and whatnot. And I'm not even lying, you guys. The Walking Dead series literally has dozens and dozens and dozens of characters. And the character of Jesus is seriously my number one favorite character. Every time he's on the page, I look forward to his story, his dialogue. He always has such fantastic dialogue and one-liners, yet his action scenes are the best. And like I said, he's just such a badass. I freaking love him. And yeah, we're not going to talk about the TV series. I really loved the character of Jesus even on the TV series, but I feel like the TV series never really reached his full potential like how he is in the comics, unfortunately. And yeah, they kind of did some things that I was very pissed off about in the TV show. I'm still very, very bitter. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about, that I'm very bitter about. I think they kind of just ruined a very good character. They ruined some potential there for his character. And yeah, I've only read these 3 compendiums, and I'm really hoping Jesus continues to be a big player in the rest of the series, because like I said, he is my number one absolute most favorite character. I love how he's written. So you guys, that is it for this month's top 5. In the comments below, are there any other gay characters that I left out? Or, you know, like I said, my whole list was men. You guys, maybe open up my mind. Give me some ladies. Give me just, you know, anybody that falls in between the LGBT plus zone. You know, share with me some people that maybe I need to go check out some books and broaden my horizons. So yeah, you guys in the comments below, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.